Welcome back, or welcome for the very first time to Worms and Warriors. We're here with Grand Tactician, the Civil War. We're heading into episode 3 of our Confederate campaign, 1863 start. As always, if you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button to follow the series along. Check out the older series. We've completed quite a few run-throughs of this game, both Union and Confederate campaigns, and also various different start dates. I think we've started in 64, 61, the early 61 start. Did I do a 62 start as well? Maybe. I don't know. Have a look through the list. But anyway, this is the first time we're doing the 63 playthrough, and it's been a challenging one. It's been a fun one. We just managed to win a nice big victory here, a nice defensive fight at Pulaski. So if you missed that, head back to episode 2 and check it out. As ever, this video is chaptered. My videos are always chaptered, so you can go to whoever it is you want to go to in the video. Starting off, I'll have a little overview. I'll show you what I've done between episodes. So I've done a little bit of rearranging of where everybody is. In terms of the corps and the army setup. I've replaced Pemberton as well. I'll go through it now. So again, this is chaptered. So if you don't want to, if you're not bothered about this or whatever, you know, you just go ahead to wherever it is you want to go to. So John Bell Hood is moving from Longstreet's corps in the Eastern Theater to the Army of Tennessee under Claiborne. These guys just fought a hard fight there at Pulaski. They need some new troops, and I was thinking about sending Hood west anyway, simply because we need the troops over here. Historically, I think invading the north during the Gettysburg campaign was a big misstep from Lee. I know that's like sacrilege to say that you think Lee did something wrong, but I think that was a big mistake, and those kind of 20,000-ish casualties were not casualties well spent in terms of the Confederacy. So I think the better course of action at that time of the war would have been to send some troops west to the Army of Tennessee and maybe even the Vicksburg garrison, if they could get them there in time. Because the war in the West was not going very well, they were on the back foot, and realistically, the Western Theatre was probably more important than the Eastern Theatre, even though the Eastern Theatre was kind of the premier theatre. Anyway, that's my opinion on it. Obviously, I know everybody has their own 2 cents worth to chuck into this, so if you feel like doing so, stick it in the comments, let me know what you think. But I feel like sending Hood with his division west was a good call on my part. I mean, you know, if I do say so myself, they will be about 15 days, I think it says. Yeah, 15 days. So in 15 days' time, these 7,200 veteran troops with 16 guns attached are going to join Claiborne's corps and bring that back up to 18,600 men. You can see it's quite a small force, really. We did suffer some wounds in that last battle, so Imboden was wounded. There was a few other ones as well, I think. Let me just have a quick look through them. Breckinridge, yeah, so we need to replace him. So we've got Imboden, Breckinridge, and Pillow as well. They were all very much involved in the front lines here. So let's see who we've got. Imboden. Actually, this is a very small division. We could just shift these brigades into the other ones. And let's just get rid of this one. Oh, we can't. Well, it wouldn't let me just... Usually you can just minus that and it'll go away, but anyway. Let's find a new commander here. We haven't got lots to choose from. There's not very many officers. I don't know if it's because I didn't reinstall the AOM mod, but... either way, we're stuck with whatever the basic officers are. Maury is pretty damn good. Across the board there. Jones not bad either. McCown, solid. Even Clark's okay, really. I'm going to give it to John P. McCown. Okay, so there's that. We've got Hood moving across, of course. Breckinridge, just replace him as well. Let's give that to Maury. And Pillow's division, they fought really well actually in that last battle. Looking good. Looking battered a bit. Just take a look at these commanders. Like this guy, Lucius Polk, he looks like he could be promoted. Wood looks okay as well. So does Deschler. Bushra Johnson even does. But I'm going to promote Polk actually. So I'm going to replace Polk with a colonel. Let's find a colonel to put in here. Russell. Ooh. Lomax. He's a cavalryman, but he looks solid. Let's put him in there. Lunsford L. Lomax. There you go, sir. You've got a new command. And then let's replace Pillow with Polk. John Hunt Morgan as well, looking awesome. Gotta get these guys into some commands. Where's Polk? So Polk has got himself a division here. Nice. Solid commander, good leadership, good administration, decent initiative, famous enough, good in cunning as well. So there's that in Hardy's corps, of course. It's just down to 10,600 men, which is not great. So there was some hard fighting here. These guys are all flashing, which means they're all in retreat. So these corps are all pulling back And they're probably going to pull back on Nashville, I would think. So we've got a decision to make. We do have the 16th Corps in our rear, which is not a good thing. 17,000 men there. We've got Forrest's Corps quite close to them, but this is just a few thousand cavalry. Can't actually click on them. I think it's like 3,500 men. The rest of our boys here are all in low readiness, so, I mean, that's not good. Wheeler, I'm moving him back to kind of regroup with our main force. So once these guys are together, we'll decide what we're going to do with them. I suspect we're going to have to hit this 16th Corps Decatur, get rid of them. You don't want 20,000 Union troops in your rear. The District of Arkansas is coming across here, and they are going to push towards Corinth. It says it's going to take 250 hours for them to get those orders. What the hell? So anyway, I don't know. Let's see if that works itself out. Let's have a look here. So I've done a little bit of reorganizing in this Army of Mississippi area, which is now under Bragg. It had been under Pemberton. And like I say, we were low on commanders in Bragg. I mean, historically, I'm not a fan of Bragg, but in-game, Bragg is not that bad. He's won leadership, sucks, but he's got solid administration, decent initiative, and he's famous enough, so it kind of helps to keep things together. Then I've replaced... well, I've actually not replaced. I've made a corps under Hindman, because the setup here was a bit dodgy. So we've got the Vicksburg garrison under Smith. We've got a corps under Hindman now. Hindman's not great, but again, like, we're pretty low on officers. But this is now operating as the corps, which I've called the Mississippi Corps. I've also moved Richard Taylor as a corps under Bragg into the Army of Mississippi, rather than being attached to the Trans-Mississippi Department, because orders are taking forever to get through. And the same with Gardner. I've just moved his 5,500 men into this kind of whole overview for the Army of Mississippi, because these were spread into different armies, which was not convenient. So Bragg is now overall commander of the Army of Mississippi with about 43,000 men. We've also got down here, let's find Vicksburg. We've also got the Army of the West. These guys are currently engaged in a fight, but it's literally, it is just Grant by himself who keeps on walking into this fort, which, you know, is annoying. But yeah, so we've got Joe Johnston here with about 7,000 men, so I can't click on it because they're in the middle of a fight, but that's what it is. See if I can find him on here. I think it's Department of the West or something. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so he's got nearly 8,000 men, so they're up next to Vicksburg as well. The plan had been for these guys to come across to Helena and head down towards Vicksburg, but I think the Union's actually pulled back from Vicksburg a bit, so I want to move these guys up and threaten Corinth. See what we can do. I mean, there's only 8,000 men there, which is not a huge force, but let's see what happens. I've given out some of those weapons we captured in the Battle of Pulaski as well, so, I mean, all these guys are pretty well armed now. So we're regrouping down here near Natchez with our main force. Our Mississippi army is kind of gathering here with Taylor's men and Gardner's men joining them at Natchez. So let's see what happens once we come together. See if we can deliver a hammer blow against the Union somewhere. Moving those 7,000 men from the east obviously leaves us a little bit short. So what I've done, I have actually recruited a few troops into the Department of Richmond. And these guys are coming from West Virginia, which is one of the only places we had recruits available from, with just 40 support. So I don't know how they're going to operate. Obviously, I'll upgrade their weapons once they come in. I've done one battery of guns from there, and then 2 infantry brigades. One 2,250 men, one 1,500. So those guys are going to come in. It's going to take ages, 50 days. But again, it's like 4,000 new troops who are going to take place of Hood's guys who've gone west. I've recruited in an extra unit into the Department of North Carolina as well, or moving them across even from Fort Fisher. So the Fort Fisher garrison is coming across, 1,000 men. It's going to take these guys to 12,500, but they're going to stay on the defensive for now. Let's rename these guys. Let's call them, there we go, 1st North Carolina Volunteers. I didn't like them being called the Fort Fisher garrison, because they're not that anymore. Yeah, so that's where we are. That's what's going on. I'm not sure exactly where this episode's going to go today. I don't know what the Federals are going to do. Let's have a quick look at the front lines. It's pretty much the same as it was at the end of the last episode. This is annoying here. Let's see what develops with that. Louisiana still fairly strongly in the grip of the Federal forces. A real problem going on with the 15th Corps of 17,000 men moving across towards Shreveport. We've got nobody there. We've got some guys coming in, but they are 44 days away. And it's only like 3,000 men from Missouri, which is not great. Tennessee, I mean, we might be able to push north. If we can retake Nashville, that would be sensational. Obviously, the Union has lots of troops up in Kentucky as well, but if they move those guys to support Tennessee, we can always move north with Buckner, through the Cumberland Gap and see if we can cause some havoc in eastern Kentucky. Also, of course, in the east, we may well face federal troops pushing south, which, I mean, I'm expecting that, to be honest. So let's see what happens with that. I don't want to be aggressive in the east at all, but if we can fight a fight here and win a fight, I'm all for it. I'm going to press play now. So the date is May the 15th, 1863. And let's get started. The Dakota expelled a bounty of $25 per scalp. I'm sure we already had that in the last episode, but maybe, I don't know. Anyway. We had also, in the first episode, we won a fight down here near Port Hudson. But Port Hudson is difficult to hold, so I don't think we can hold it, to be honest. Don't know why I was saying 246 hours. District of Arkansas. It's because he's still getting his orders from Kirby Smith, who's in the Trans-Mississippi, which means it's pretty bad. I'm going to move them across. I'm going to put Holmes under the Department of the West. So hopefully that means he gets his orders quicker. I don't know if it does, but I hope it does. A little quicker. I'm not really interested in doing any of these at the moment. We're financing all these pretty low. But to be honest, we've got plenty of weapons available and things to order. So that's great. I've stripped this Trans-Mississippi department right down because, frankly, I don't think we can really hold them. The 13th Corps here is on the move as well. The District of the Indian Territory is the only real viable force we have in the Trans-Mississippi. There's just nowhere to get troops from. This was just Grant. I mean, it's saying it took 651 prisoners, but I don't really understand how. Like, this is the headquarters unit. It's on the move again. Print bonds. Alright, so the Federals are kind of pulling back towards Nashville, which is what I thought they would do. 16th Corps down here. They are taking Decatur. Now, we're struggling with supply. I'm going to move Claiborne to Huntsville via train. Let's move Forrest there as well. Maybe they're going back towards Corinth. That makes sense, actually, because Corinth is an important place. Not to mention, it also opens up Missouri? Memphis. I couldn't think of it there. Opens up Memphis for us to strike, potentially, with these guys. Okay, so anyway, we've driven these guys back, and we don't actually need to move him to Huntsville at all now. Let's move him back. Messing Claiborne around a little bit, but we need these guys to sort themselves out. I'm going to keep Forrest here for the moment, just to make sure we hold on to that depot. Let's see what we've got here. Fort Desperate has been repaired in Louisiana. Down here, which we've kind of abandoned, to be fair. We're pulling back up towards Natchez, hopefully coming to some supply from this depot at Jackson. We do have a few ships ready, so possibly we can do something with those. Some gunboats. These ironclad rams, they're the ones we need. Some way away from being completed, though. Do we have anything on the river? Can we make a fleet anywhere? Natchez? Can we make one there, maybe? See if we can make a river fleet. Little Rock port. I'm not sure if we can get... Do we get access to the Mississippi from Little Rock? think so. So I suppose we could make a fleet at Little Rock. 135 guns in there in this 3rd Mississippi River Squadron. I don't know if there's much point in doing so. Let's do it. We'll make one at Little Rock. So we're going to create a fleet. Let's create a Little Rock. Commander, this guy. Let's give it a Sems, Captain Sems. There we go. I'm going to stick these gunboats in it. CSS Dr. Beatty. Nice. Got a steam sloop ready as well. Cotton-clad ram. Little steamer. Alright, so that gives us a fleet at least on the Arkansas. Is that the Arkansas? Is that the river? I'm not sure, but it's in Arkansas anyway. We'll let them gather together and see what happens. Let's add CSS Alabama to the Mobile Squadron. So there's a steam sloop there going in. See if we can keep that harbour safe. Yeah, so this corps is moving up to 17th Corps. I mean, we could strike south towards Baton Rouge, but I don't know if that's important enough to risk our troops. We've got the 13th Corps sitting there, and the 19th Corps, and the 17th Corps is moving up, whereas the 15th Corps is coming back towards Vicksburg. We do have the Department of the West there, and of course the Vicksburg garrison. So we've got kind of 15,000 men plus this fort there. Wheeler and Forrest have arrived. Excellent. We need readiness to improve in these troops. So the 16th Corps is coming through Corinth, Mississippi, and pressing towards Memphis, I think. Maybe we don't want these guys going there after all. Hopefully they can just stop there. Yeah, so I mean, it looks like there's an army here, but there's not. It's just Kirby Smith with his command. So I'm assuming he's going to pull out. These boys still 42 days away, so no chance of them getting there. Lincoln removing political opponents. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that they were up to in those days. Smith is withdrawn, yeah, so he's going to have to abandon Shreveport, which is, it's not ideal. But what can I do? We've got nobody over here. I'm going to pull Smith up there towards Fort Smith in Arkansas. I'm going to abandon this depot because I don't want that falling into Union hands. Yep, there we go. Which is always a bit of a risk, but I really don't want them having a depot here. I mean, they can launch straight into Texas with supply in place. That's no good at all. Let's wait for these guys to get resupplied from the Jackson depot, and then we're going to decide what to do with them. I'm just going to speed things up a little bit, see if anything happens. I'm going to send Forrest to Corinth, see if we can take it. Even if we just take it temporarily. And we've got a huge fight coming here. So I'm going to do something a little bit different this time around. I'm not going to fight this fight now. I'm going to do this fight as a live stream. So I'm going to do it later in the week. I'll work out exactly when. Hopefully lots of you guys can join me. And we'll fight this like kind of live so you can have input into what's happening. This should be a nice fight actually. Look at this. The Union is actually outnumbered as well. 46,000 infantry, 5,000 cavalry to our 56,000 infantry and 6,200 cavalry, along with 262 guns to their 92. This is an awesome opportunity to hopefully land a killer blow against the federal troops under Hooker. Fighting Joe Hooker. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to save it here. We're going to get back to it. I'm going to do this as a live stream, so look out in the community page or join me on Discord. I'll put a link in a pinned comment if you want to watch that. I'll aim to do this maybe on Wednesday or Thursday next week. But look out for an announcement. Come back and check out this battle. So I hope it's going to be a good one. A big fight here in northern Virginia, well, kind of middle Virginia, actually near Fredericksburg. But this should be a really good fight, I think, especially if we can give them a bloody nose. That would be awesome. Yeah, this a while since we had a big fight in the east. So a bit of a shorter episode for this week, but like I say, I'll squeeze in a second episode. We'll do that as a live stream. if I can get everything set up and working. Then if people are interested in that anyway, then I will. If not, I'll just knock it out as the next episode next week, because I think this is going to be a long one, and you know, I don't really want to sit in here for hours on end playing a battle when I've already done the setup and things. But I think it'd be great to do this as a live stream. I've never done a battle live, so it'd be great if you join in, if you come and tell me what you think we should be doing. I think that would be a really interesting thing to do, and it's a first. And I like to try new things on the channel as well, and that's awesome. Well, I hope it's going to be awesome. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you there in the live stream. Look out for an announcement on the community page on my channel. Maybe I'll also stick it in the comments for this video, so have a look at the comments. Maybe if you've got any thoughts at all on this video, or on the episode, or on the series, stick it in the comments. I love having a chat in the comments. But yeah, join me on Discord if you feel like doing so. You can keep up with everything that's going on. And just before I sign off here, just a quick note that we are on BBB-, and that is not a good place to be. It's May the 25th, 1863, and we're going to head into this fight against Hooker's forces, 46,000. It's about 50,000, call it 51,000, against our 63,000, give or take. I mean, don't know how many guys are in the artillery and whatnot, but this is a pretty good fight, and hopefully we will be on the defensive and we can give them a bloody nose. That's where we want to be. That's what we want to be doing. Something to be aware of though as well is their 5th Corps. Oh, their 5th Corps is actually joining. I thought maybe these guys down here might be on our flank. They also have cavalry down here, a cavalry corps, 11,000 men. Are they in the fight? Doesn't look like it. But they've definitely come around our flank here and gone for Washington. So we need to win this, and we need to move some troops back. Probably we'll move the cavalry division back to support the Department of Richmond, which is sitting with 4,600 men, which is not a huge force. There will be 8,500 men by the time those guys from West Virginia come in, but that's a little while away yet. So it's an interesting development. Let's do this live. Hopefully I'll see you there in the live stream. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra for now.